Hey guys, this is Ben Mauro. I'm a senior concept designer working in the game and film industry, currently on Halo Infinite. Today I want to talk about some cool Blender plugins that I use in my workflows to create scenes and pre-visualize environments and things really fast. Blender has a ton of stuff that just has sped up my workflow immensely. Things that would have taken, hours and hours in other programs take a few minutes in Blender. So I'm just going to go over a few of them that I use and quickly mock up a scene similar to this, going over a couple simple techniques. I'll go into more detail on each plugin in one of the future videos. So these plugins just allow you to create some really complex forms and shapes really fast, and you can just see having something like this to mock up and show clients in a few minutes is pretty powerful and fun. All these plugins make things super easy and just takes away a ton of the technical aspects that pushed me away from 3D for so long, and it's gotten to the point now, especially with Blender, that it doesn't feel like work anymore. It just feels like I'm having fun playing with cool toys all day. And so I'll just cover a few things that I think have been really helpful to me and hopefully will be really helpful to you. First plugin I want to talk about was KitOps. This is a really cool plugin that I use a lot. It's basically allows you to have a resource library of a lot of different things that you can use to kit bash or boolean into your objects and just create some really complex structures really fast. There's a free version and a pro version, and the website also has a lot of asset libraries and things and links to other stuff that you can play around with. The second plugin I would recommend is something called HardOps. This is a really handy modeling tool that I use a lot. The next plugin is Boxcutter. This is a really handy modeling tool as well. Boxcutter and HardOps kind of go hand in hand together. They work really well together. I would recommend both of those. They kind of just complement each other. Boxcutter is good for modeling things and mocking things up, and HardOps kind of allows you to adjust and refine all the bevels and booleans all at once, and just has a lot of different functionality that kind of works hand in hand with Boxcutter. The last one I want to talk about that I use quite a bit is called Decal Machine. This allows you to kind of drag and drop things onto your models. This doesn't actually create geo on your objects, but it's really fast and really handy. And if you're just making something that's going to be rendered in Eevee or cycles, it's great. You can just get some really highly complex looking objects. It doesn't chug your scene or anything because it's not actually geo. It's just kind of like a 2D image map that fakes the appearance of geometry. And you can just really go to town on detailing objects and getting decals and things in there to create some really complex looking industrial machines. So this is another one I'd recommend. It's really fun and really powerful. So I just want to start the scene just default Blender. This is kind of what happens when you open up the program and start working. And I'll just go over a couple things and show you how some of this stuff works. So when you install KitOps, there will be a tab that opens up the plugin, and when you click on this, it has all your resource libraries loaded in. I've loaded in, some of them are decals, some of them are textures, some of them are kitbash model pieces, some of them are Boolean cutter objects that are really handy as well. That's one of the reasons I really love this program. A lot of the plugins will tend to do one thing, but this kind of does a bit of everything. So it's really handy to just have one little thing over here that just allows me to do multiple different things all in one place, which is pretty handy. So I'm just going to get a plane, just do some really basic stuff to get some semblance of a scene going. Load in some sort of person scan to get some sort of scale in our scene. So once you kind of have that in your scene, it's, just a plane and a cube, nothing special. But let's start playing around with some of the stuff that's available to us in here. Some cool things are these cutters, which basically is a huge library of booleans that you can use to cut in and out of your object. So first select the object you want to have the cutter applied to and click Add Insert, and it should just follow along on your cursor, and you can just place it anywhere on your object. So you can see it's just adding a boolean to your scene, and you can just scale and adjust and cut in and out of your object. It's just really handy and powerful, and you can just see you can get some really complex looking industrial kind of forms. And you can see it's kind of not rendering properly. It doesn't feel really chiseled, and the light's just not falling properly on it. So what you can do is you can select your object, and HardOps is over here, shortcut is Q, and just click the sharpen, and it will clean all that up and make sure the light is reacting properly on your object. So say we like that, maybe we want a couple other things, maybe just add another one. We can get some interesting looking cuts into this object. Some sort of sci-fi column or something maybe. And box cutter is another one that just allows you to quickly cut into your geometry and get some really complex forms. And if you hold down Shift, the Boolean box stays in the scene, and you can edit everything after the fact and create the forms you're wanting to create. And you can just adjust this cutter and just create the exact cut you want. So maybe some sort of beveled shape down there, nothing fancy. So say this is our weird kind of sci-fi column, and we're happy with that. What's cool is also we have some kit bash parts, which you, again, can add to the scene to create some more accent details or whatever you want to do to fill out the space. So not only are there kit bash objects, cutters, Boolean cutters, there is also some really nice material packs. This one includes just glass, metal, and all that kind of stuff. There's some really cool concrete textures that I like a lot. And you just have to press Control and then add insert, and it auto applies the material to your object, which is just super fun, super fast. So say we really like this also, I'll just add a kind of concrete to my object. Let's move the light around to get a better look at everything. Again, it's just really cool to see how fast you can block something out and start getting some really photoreal looking stuff happening. Just make this, extend this space out a bit. And so say we really like this, but if you start moving it around, all those cutters are not committed to the object. So what you have to do is go to this wrench on the right in Blender and click Apply All. And all your objects will have the cutter applied. You can just move the cutters off or delete them or whatever you want to do. So now we have that object and all the geo is applied to it. So say we want to make some kind of quick sci-fi hallway or something. Combine these two, which you can do with Control J. And then what's cool in hard ops is there's an array feature just built into it. All this stuff you can do over here in the wrench area, just adding modifiers, but having hard ops just simplifies everything. So say I want this arrayed this way, I just drag it out the distance I want it arrayed, and then I just press the plus button and it will add as many of those as I want in my scene. So say we want some really cool, deep, cavernous sort of space. Maybe I want these a bit further apart. So we can create a really interesting space off in the distance through the sides. So say we like that, you just press escape to get out of it. But now they're all one piece that you can just move around. And what's cool about the material, you can just select multiple objects and control click on the add insert and we'll just apply it to all the objects. Sometimes the objects go into the scene really big, you can just scale it down. So let's get some fog and lighting in there real quick. Go to the world tab over here, add a volume scatter, and plug it into your volume node, and just turn that down. Let's change the color of our light and get a bit of a more of a moody scene. It's cold, damp sewers or wherever this might be.